Well, welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JB, and I am always excited to be here to share with you fun ways that we can ignite humanity. It's Thursday, so it's all about solutions. It's all about inspiration. It's all about ways of having a good time in our lives so that we can ignite the lives of others. And one of the ways that we do that is through our heartfelt stories, sharing parts of our lives that we feel will inspire and touch the lives of others. Now, interestingly enough, I woke up this morning thinking about my kids. I'm so lucky to have two of my own, two of my stepchildren, and I love having this beautiful blended family. But of course, as parents, we are the leaders and the inspirers of our children. We are igniting their lives through the things that we do, and it becomes this ripple effect. A few years ago, I actually took my kids out of school and did some traveling around the world. And I knew that it was going to be challenging them in regards to their education, but it was going to be so powerful for them in regards to their future. What kind of adults were they going to grow into? What things would they learn? And traveling, they learned so much about currency and religion and prejudice and racism and politics and all kinds of things that they weren't necessarily learning in school through books, but they were learning in real life while traveling. And so that inspiration for me was a way to ignite their lives in the hopes that they would be the best adults and individuals that they could be. Now, imagine if we were all thinking in a way that we ignite and inspire the children in our lives and the many little people out there that have the ability to grow up and live in the best experience of themselves through their own ignited vision of seeing us living our lives. And that is the ripple effect of igniting humanity. And when we tell our personal stories and we share our heartfelt experiences, we actually ignite the lives of others. And I'm talking about kids today because our guest for the show is really a master and wonderful educator and person in the field of educating and evolving parenting and children. And you are going to love hearing from her. So if you're a parent, pull up the chair and get excited. If you're not a parent, also know that you are influencing the lives of little ones. You might be a coach, you might be a pastor, you might be in your church, it might be on the soccer field, it might be in your job, it might be an opportunity that you may not have your own children, but you are still igniting the lives of someone else who is looking up to you for inspiration and direction. And so if you want to know how to ignite humanity, well, it all is a ripple effect, and it all starts with each and every one of us. Now, before we move on, just want to let you know, go to our website, ignitehumanity.life, and you can find out everything that we're doing to ignite humanity. And you may wonder, how did I end up watching this show? What's this girl all about? What's this igniting humanity thing? Well, you can find out on our website and see all of our past episodes on how we are igniting humanity and making a difference on the planet by having guests every single day, Monday to Friday, talking about ways to ignite humanity through their journey and their experience and their desire to share it with you. All right, well, let's not waste any more time. Come on, let's talk to Natalie. She's a certified coach, educator, best-selling author, and speaker with a background in psychology, business, and education. She's worked with thousands of parents and teachers and children around the world using a variety of neurobiological strategies that help rewire the brain and the nervous system. Wow, that's a mouthful, but I love it. She's going to tell us more about that. With this mind-body approach, Natalie gently guides parents to break through generational patterns and bridge the gap between being the parent they've always envisioned with the reality of meeting everyday parenting challenges. I love this conversation. I can't wait to have it some more. Come on into the show, Natalie. Welcome to Ignite Humanity Live.
Hi, thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here.
Well, we love having you. And of course, as a published author and a part of a parenting book, you and I have had multiple conversations about parenting. We love this topic. I too have published a book called Enjoying Parenting. And we dig deep into this idea of the psychology and the generational patterns. I know that's some big words for people. Can you unpack that a little bit for our listeners? What does that really mean?
Well, they are big words, aren't they?
Yeah.
What it really means in quick terms is when you get triggered, okay, even if you're not a parent, if you get triggered by somebody else, there's something in you that is inviting you to look at it. And the thing with being a parent, usually it's our kids who trigger us, and we can't usually step away, or it takes, we can't get as much space. But really, when we are looking at generational patterns, we're looking at something in us that needs some healing, that needs some love, that needs some attention, that needs some awareness and awakening. And that's the invitation of breaking general patterns, is looking at those triggers and being able to see past them so that you can evolve your parenting, evolve your life so they can live with more peace and ease.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I remember my son, when my son was first born, the nurse put him in my arms and I looked down at him with his big giant eyes. And the very first thought I had, honestly, Natalie, was, this is going to be your greatest teacher. I literally felt that just wave over me looking down at this brand new, few minute old baby. This is going to be your greatest teacher. And I will say, my son is now 18, has moved out. He's like living his own life. And still, I look back in the last 18 years, truly has been my greatest teacher, taught me about love and compassion and understanding, and at the same time has been a challenge in many ways, has challenged me through those things that I have not yet worked out myself. Is this a little bit of what you're explaining, that there's sometimes these beautiful, beautiful children come into our lives to share with us our own learning and evolve us forward?
Yes, that's exactly it. So there is an invitation when we are challenged by our children. Again, could be anyone, could be a coworker, a
Right?
mother-in-law, whatever. But when we are challenged by someone and we have that trigger come forth in us, it is an opportunity for us to expand and grow and go beyond our subconscious, because that is where the trigger lies. That's why it's there, is because there's something that is in us that, again, needs some or is inviting us to heal. So when
Mhm.
we have a trigger, or a challenge in our life, we can look at it one of two ways. Either I can continue to be gripped by this challenge and frustrated and annoyed and overwhelmed by this challenge, or I can choose another path. And I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do at times, because sometimes parenting, not sometimes, often parenting is very overwhelming. It's a lot of work.
Mhm.
And when we have children who are a little neurodivergent, or just, as we call them, gladiator kids, super strong willed kids, it's even more difficult sometimes for us to be the parent that we always envisioned, because we get triggered by
Mhm.
children.
And
Does
it's
that
really
make
neat
sense?
what you say, because I do think that you said we're invited and we have a choice. And I think the awareness of something is bothering me. Oh, this is interesting for me. Oh, this feels uncomfortable for me. Oh, I'm finding myself reacting to this,
Yes.
allows us to have that choice instead of just runaway emotions or runaway behavior. Can you talk a little bit about some solutions, since today is about solutions? What are some of the solutions that we can lean into when we're at that choice moment?
Yeah, absolutely. And you just alluded to it. It is, the first thing is to be aware. Okay, so pause and be aware of what's happening within you. And often some parents, in my practice, what I've noticed is that more and more parents are coming to me because they know there's something in them that is contributing to this dynamic with their children. In the past, a couple years ago, parents would come to me, and I still have parents who do this because something is wrong with their child, or they need some support with their child, and both can be true. And that's where I work with parents, is on that level of, how can I support your child? Because children do need strategies. Their frontal lobe is not fully developed. We need to help them. And then the other level is working with the parent and seeing if they're available and willing to look at what they can do to really help contribute, and in a positive way, the family dynamic. So the first solution, if you will, is to really start to be aware of that. What is happening? When do you get triggered? When does your child get triggered? When are the challenges coming up? And again, if you need some support on that, then you can, of course, connect with someone. You can read a book. You can do whatever you feel that would help give you some awareness, because that's the next part: is why is this happening? And more importantly, what can I do about it? And as I said, there's two different levels. So there's the support for our kids and the support for ourselves. And what's interesting about our generation is we are, as a collective consciousness, we are awakening more and more. And what many parents are being called to do, or being invited to do, is to reparent themselves
Mm.
while they learn to parent their kids. And that's a tough job. That's really tough. Many of us grew up in, variety of different homes, and our parents, in most cases or some cases, did the best that they could, knowing what they knew. And now we know that our kids co-regulate with us. Our kids vibe off of our vibe. Our kids will do the best that is available to them, that's reflected upon what's the best available in us.
Hmm.
So it's really important that, one of the things that we build is that sense of awareness.
Yeah, it's such a great conversation because when you're thinking about igniting humanity, obviously, with so many children being born and so many kids coming into the world, and those children growing up to become adults who are going to define our future, we really have to take a step back and say, okay, how can we support the relationship between us and our children? And of course, as you were talking, I was thinking, well, I'm not a child anymore, but I'm still a child to my parents, or I am their child. I'm not a child, but it doesn't actually end. Even though you're no longer a child, you still have parents and you still have the parent-child relationship
Yes.
regardless of your age. And so that your tools that you're suggesting are really valuable to all of us at any age if our parents are still alive, for example.
Yeah. And you know what? Even if they're not, there's still some healing that you can do to, give care to yourself for anything that did happen in the past, of course. But my work is also in the moment now and looking for the
Hmm.
future, because, history repeats itself, right? So if we don't have that awareness that, hey, listen, what can I do to help have ease and love in my relationships, whether it's with my own parents or my siblings or my coworker, because that is going to also help me with my relationship with my children when they're young, and when they're teens, and when they're adults. It's multi-generational. This work, as you said, does not end.
Hmm.
And the good news to that, if you find it overwhelming, don't, please, because we'll take it step by step. I know, right? But the good news is there's always opportunity to evolve and learn if you're willing.
Hmm. And so, I know some parents are sitting on the edge of their seat saying, Natalie, just give me one tool, give me one suggestion, give me one solution. Is there one thing that you find that's common around the world, that parents are facing, regardless of any kind of differences? It's sort of there's this common denominator in parenting, and you have a really great solution for?
Yes, there's many, but the one thing I would say, I know it's such
Big
a
question.
I know, it's a huge question. The one thing that I would say, and I see this more and more in my practice, is this continuing momentum of the ever strong-willed child. So the child that is putting up the big tantrums, the child that, or the teen that is back talking, and the parent is not sure how to handle that, handles it in a way that they were taught, or perhaps they do learn through a book or whatnot, how to handle it, but there's still something missing in that connection for between yourself and your child. One of the things that is one of my expertise is mirroring. And as a connected parenting coach, that's one of the strategies that I help teach clients, because mirroring, basically going on the neurobiological level, you're reflecting back what your child's emotional experience is in that moment. So if they're having a tantrum, for example, or if they're back talking, for example, for you to be able to hold space and mirror back what they're experiencing, we have the opportunity to heal so much in that moment for
Hmm.
our kids and for ourselves. The tricky part is many of us were not given that opportunity. So this is where the reparenting for ourselves comes in as well. It's a lot of work, but it's doable and it lasts. You're literally breaking generational patterns when you choose to do this work.
I can see that also with like sad. I remember there was a time when my daughter was really sad and I just curled up with her and just, really mirrored that you don't have to fix it, don't have to solve it. Let's just really feel sad right now. I also know that it comes with being shy. I have a friend who has a very shy child, and everyone is trying to get the child to wake up, break up, stand up, be loud. And the mom is just really allowing her to
To
be shy.
be. Yes,
Yes.
just to be, exactly. We always find as parents that we're in fix-it mode. We gotta fix
Mhm.
this, we gotta fix, and with good intention, with good love, we want to our children to be happy, healthy, successful, understandable, absolutely. And there's a time and place for that. So again, the way I work with parents is you have this opportunity to be and connect with your kid and allow and receive and just fully immerse with your child in that moment. And of course there's limits that we need to set and parameters, because we are not just parents, we are a substitute frontal lobe, so it's a balance of both and learning when to have that balance. So it's a beautiful example you gave of with your child, being sad, or if your child is angry, or if your child is shy, um, just giving them space to let them know that it's okay to feel that way. It
Mm.
really is.
Mhm.
And there's nothing you need to do in this moment. When you're ready, we can co create something that maybe you might be interested in that might make you feel a little bit better. Because right now, in this moment, we want to allow that child to feel what they feel. And then we tap into the question I love to get parents to ask their children is, after, of course, they mirror, and after, of course, they just provide the space and be there. When the opportunity arises, they can ask their child, how's this, how's this feel for you?
Mhm.
And kids, trust me, when kids are having the tantrum, when kids are back talking, they get this icky feeling in them. Maybe not right in the moment because they're largely driven by their limbic system. They're very much in their amygdala. But when when afterwards, they'll feel that icky feeling. They'll be like,
Mhm.
I didn't like that, but they don't know how to express it properly. They don't have the words yet. They don't know how. They haven't been taught how. They haven't been shown how. So it's really important that we co-create, and that question really helps our children start to tune into how does that feel for you? And then, what, do you like feeling that way? Do you like when everyone's having a wonderful time at the party and you're kind of clinging on to mom? Is that how maybe you do in this moment? And that's
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
When you're ready, when you're ready, I can help you co-create some ways to break through that, because you know what? It does seem like a lot of fun to go over there and have a good time. But it's done in such a loving,
Mhm.
not a forceful way. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you and support you and love you.
Well, I'll just share with you because you and I always talk about our kids. My kids are older than yours. So recently I lost a person in an accident and they passed away. And I've been dealing with the grief of that. And over the weekend, I was having just a sad moment. And my 15-year-old came over, just started rubbing my shoulder and sort of just didn't say much. Just, I'm here for you, mom. And I know it's tough and I know how you're feeling. And I was, having my moment. And then I said to her, thank you. It's okay. You don't have to take care of me. And she goes, I'm not taking care of you. I'm just being with you. And it was so beautiful because it goes to show that when we teach our children to mirror, they become mirrors and they can be there for us. And children are so beautiful in being emotional grounds for us also as
Mhm.
we go through life. And I think that's such a beautiful experience. And you just made me think of, and so thank you to my daughter who was a great emotional support for me if you're watching the show, and to all of us parents, and as we become emotional supports for our friends and our family. And I'm sure there are many adult children who have aging parents who they too can be a support and a mirror for them.
Yeah.
Such a great conversation. Well, I want to just shift gears slightly because I don't want to miss out on the important part. there was something in your life and in your experience that made you feel really passionate about
Mm.
helping parents in this way. Can you share a little bit about the Ignite moment that really inspired you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was struggling with my child. I have a very super strong-willed child, and the parenting tactics I was using weren't working, and we were struggling. And it showed up in my this is part of the Ignite moment. You know, and you can read about it in the book, of course, the Ignite Love. The thing that really became aware to me is my health. I was making choices in my parenting, and the struggle and the frustration and the wanting to change my child was showing up in an internal turmoil, and my health was the recipient of the turmoil. And I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and that was a big wake up call for me. Something's not working, so something needs to shift, and it's not just about my child.
Mhm.
And that's where I came to the realization that this is a co-creation. Everything is. Okay, everything is a co-creation in life. And when we have such a wonderful opportunity, albeit frustrating at times and overwhelming at times as a parent, but when we have that opportunity with the child who really invites us to reconsider our ways of being, our old patterns and our old subconscious, we get a chance to create possibilities in our lives and our children's lives and our everyone who touches us, our lives for everyone around us, in a way that is uplifting, loving, caring, accepting, and unconditional in many ways, which is something that many of us didn't grow up with. And that's okay. That's how many of our parents are taught, but it's so easy to place conditional love. So when we can step beyond that and really start to love with the unconditional self first, because that's
Mhm.
where it will start, that's where we really start to gain power and momentum and empower ourselves to be the parent we've always envisioned.
It's such a beautiful example, and bravo to your strength. But it also shows many people ask, how do I ignite humanity? And I always say it starts with self, it starts with you, and you recognizing how your life was unfolding and unfolding in a way that you didn't want. And that moment really became the hub for many things that you did with your health and your wellness and your parenting and your relationships. And it's such a beautiful example of how when we start with self, we radiate outwards, and that is going to make a big impact. Now you do some phenomenal things. You help parents. Let's put it up on the screen. And just as we wrap up, how can people find you? We have the link here, but what would you love to leave a parent with, or anyone with, knowing that they have the power to ignite their lives, ignite humanity, and make this shift towards living that fuller expression of themselves?
You know, it does start with self, absolutely. And to be the best parent or the best person that you can be means that you also need to take care of yourself as well. And I know that's tough sometimes, especially for moms who feel like being of service to others and always taking care of others is the first and foremost thing. Put you in the equation as well. And you know what? Mother's Day is coming up, so it's a
Yeah.
great time to to put yourself in that picture as well, and do something that really fuels your soul, so that you can, of course, give that love, that over generosity to your family as well.
Such great advice, such great inspiration. Happy early Mother's Day to you, and
You
thank you
too.
for so much. I really admire the work that you've done, the parenting that you're coaching others to do, and just the evolution in your life. I know your children are graciously and lovingly and adoringly being themselves, and at the same time loving your parenting skills. It truly is an inspiration, and I just so appreciate you being on the show and inspiring those parents at home. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, JP.
Well, we all have the ability to be a mirror to others and do it in a powerful, inspiring way. And if you are a parent, I hope some of the things that Natalie shared will inspire you. And if you're not a parent, but you are a child of a parent, you too can reach out in a way that will help you foster a better relationship, help you overcome some of those things that are triggering you, and really evolve you into the greater version of yourselves. We all want to ignite humanity. It starts with us, and then it radiates outward. Well, if you would like to be a part of Igniting Humanity, we would love to have you on the show, and you could tell your Ignite moment and the things that you're doing. As you can see, many of our guests have been a part of our Ignite series, have written in our books, have shared their Ignite moment, and they've gone on to do incredible businesses, make big impacts, and of course, now be on Ignite Humanity Live to share with you. We'd love to hear your story and what you're up to. So please fill out the type form below and tell us what you're doing and how you are igniting humanity so we can share it with the rest of the world. We're also doing a big move to make an impact in the lives of children. We're building schools overseas, and we would love for you to be a part of that process. Also, if you'd like to donate, every single dollar that you donate buys a brick to one of our schools that we are building in third world countries. Now, the great thing about these bricks is they are from recycled plastic pulled out of the landfills. And so we are doing a double service to the environment and to igniting the lives of kids in need. We always are looking for you to be a part of one of our book series. So if you have an Ignite moment, please tell us about it. We have a book coming out called Ignite Humanity, looking for people who have Ignite moments. And we would love for you to be a part of that. Go to our website. We also have books about courage, purpose, connections, joy, and creativity coming out. So if you've got an Ignite moment, we want to help you tell your story and publish that for the world. Now today, later on today, I have another show called the Legacy Lounge. And the Legacy Lounge with Lady JB is all about building legacy. If we're going to make an impact with humanity, we have to be thinking about what's happening after we're no longer here. Are we leaving a legacy behind? And what is that legacy? And so I invite legends to come into the Legacy Lounge and talk about ways to build legacy. You can join me tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Come be a part of the Legacy Lounge. Go click on the link below and you can get all the details to find out how you can start creating a legacy that is going to ignite the lives of others. And last but not least, if you would like to watch this episode or any of our other episodes, please check out our website. We have a free portal with all of our episodes available to you free of charge, so you can find ways to ignite humanity. Of course, we're also available live on Facebook in the mornings, and you can go to our VOD channel at traversetv.com and find our episodes there. We love to make ourselves available, so we want you to have access to everything we're doing. Now, before I go, let me tell you one more thing. We've taken some of these episodes and turned them into a video magazine. We've written some fabulous articles that are connected to our interviews, and we put them in a digital magazine, and we're making that available to you. Now, all connected to the article is also the video of the episode, and so you can see this amazing video magazine full of articles from our episodes and our guests, and watch the videos at the same time. Again, free to you at the Legacy Library. All right, well, that's enough of me. Chatter, chatter, chatter. I hope you're having a great day. I hope we gave you some great solutions. And I truly hope that you go out and ignite your life and ignite the life of a little one today. Give somebody a hug and tell them that you love them. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.